Hi guys, and welcome back. I'm finally going to get to that bread recipe, the crusty bread that's done in the Dutch oven. Now you could do this outside of the Dutch oven, but that's what we're doing today, is inside the Dutch oven, and it just makes a really crispy crust. So I hope everyone enjoyed their holiday if you celebrated Thanksgiving, and let's get started. Start off with you want 1 packet of yeast, or 2¼ teaspoons, a teaspoon of sugar, and then 1¼ cup of warm water. Do not make it boiling. You will kill your yeast, and you do not want to do that. And that is why I always say to proof when you're making bread. So this is proofed, and you can see it is foamy. You put all those first 3 ingredients together, and you just let them sit 5-10 minutes until you start smelling the yeast, and it looks like this. If it just looks like cloudy water, then your yeast is dead, and you'll need to start over with fresh yeast. So our yeast is good. So I have my dough hook on, and to this I am adding 1½ teaspoons of salt and 2½ cups of flour, and I'm going to go ahead and put it all in at once, and then I'm going to do this on a low speed just until the dough starts pulling away from the bowl. We're not going to knead it and knead it and knead it. We're just waiting until it all comes together. Also, it's a very versatile bread, easy to make exactly how you want. So say you want a garlic rosemary bread or a thyme bread, you would add those ingredients right now and let them all blend together. So this is just going to be a basic white bread, but again, if you wanted to make it something a little more fun, more flavorful, then by all means this would be the time. Go ahead and add your seasonings to taste, and then go from there. So I'll bring you back once all of this has pulled away. Okay, so you can see that it has started to pull away. That only took maybe 3 minutes for everything to get incorporated and to start pulling away from the bowl. So now all I'm going to do, I'm going to get this off. I'm going to flour my bowl very lightly. Do not incorporate the flour into this dough. But very lightly flour around your bowl, and then cover it and set it in a warm place until it has doubled in size. For me, that is going to be my oven, because my house is cold. So I have had my oven on warm from the time I started the process of making the bread. And so I have now turned the oven off, and then this is going to go in there and set until it is doubled in size. That could be anywhere from an hour to 2 hours. Just watch it. When it's doubled in size, then you know you're ready for the next step. Okay, so you can see that this has doubled in size. And now, and I apologize, I'm getting a new camera this weekend, but right now I'm using my phone, so I can't show you with my hands what I'm doing while also holding my phone. But anyway, the next step you want to do is not punch down your dough. Again, do not punch down your dough. You want to set your oven to 450 degrees, and you want to put your Dutch oven, lid and all, into your oven and let it all preheat together. During that time, so around 30 minutes, give or take, you want to take this dough out and very lightly, on a lightly floured surface, tuck it to make it the shape that you want. So if you weren't using a Dutch oven, you could make it into a loaf style or however. I'm just going to kind of tuck under everything to make it into a ball. And then that, what baby? And then that is going to go in to the Dutch oven. And I'll show you that part. I just can't show you me tucking it under, but I just want to reiterate, do not punch down the dough, or it'll be a much denser bread. And then also, when you're tucking into the shape that you want, don't incorporate that flour. You're just using a light amount just to get it to where it's not sticky and into the shape that you want. And then let it rise again in a warm place while your oven is preheating with your Dutch oven inside. All right. Voila! Now, I wanted to do it this way because I wanted to specifically show you what could happen. So, this is my 6 or 7 quart Dutch oven. This is what your bread will look like in a 6 or 7 quart Dutch oven for that exact recipe, not doubling it or anything. And that is just because it's such an airy dough that it'll spread out if you don't form it into something like a French roll or whatever. It's going to spread out into whatever container you have it in, and then that's how it'll rise. So this is still, I mean, you hear that crust? Woo! And it's still thick, but it's probably about that tall versus if I did it in my 3 quart, which is the one I usually use. I put parchment in it, and then I put it in my 3 quart and let it rise and cook in that. And then it turns into a big, tall ball or round bread loaf. But I wanted to show you that you could do it in any, and you could also do it without the parchment. Just be warned that it will stick. This is actually because I forgot about it, and it was starting to over proof, and so I threw it in the hot dish and stuck it in the oven, and it stuck to the bottom, which is why I don't have it out right now. But I'll still cut you off a piece. But yeah, I wanted to show you that you could do it in a bigger pan, but what would happen if you did it in a bigger pan? That's really the only reason I have a smaller Dutch oven is for bread. Unless I double this batch, and then I can do it in this one, and it turns out very nice. But yeah, that's just what I wanted to show you. So let me show you what the crumb looks like, and then I'm going to get to eating. Alright, so I tore me off a piece because that is how we eat the bread whenever I do it in the round loaf. I just set it on the table and kind of just tear it apart, and that is how we like it, because we usually have it with stew or a soup, and it's our crusty bread to dip and dunk and scoop and everything in between. So you can see it is nice, and it is fluffy, and it's so good. And again, has a nice hard crust, which is what you get when you do it in that Dutch oven. So again, all I did was preheated the Dutch oven in the oven 450 degrees while this rose a second time, and then stuck it in the hot pan, covered it with the lid, and then let it go for 30 minutes. And then this actually only took 10 minutes with the lid off, just to get it that nice dark golden brown. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you guys next time. Thanks for watching.